Good morning. Welcome to Thursday. The week is almost over and the sun is shining, which I think is a nice relief after yesterday. And it's going to be 70 degrees today. And then tomorrow it will bring thunderstorms and things like that. But for now, we will just look outside and be excited about the weather. So I'm Lindsey Phillips and I am filling in today on the show. So thank you for joining us. We have two great guests. Before we get to that, though, we are going to give a shout out to our sponsors because, of course, none of this happens without them. So big thank you to Hy-Vee, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, Muscatine Power and Water, Becky Insurance, Toyota of Muscatine, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, Impact Fitness and Nutrition, Suntan City, Lutheran Living Senior Campus, Impact Life Blood Center, and Harper's Cycling and Fitness. So we are here today with Shane Orr from United Way, who has a few things to fill us in on. Shane, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay, so you're here today because you should be, of course, and we're excited that it's you. But the rest of the office is a little busy.
Yeah, I was going to have Hillary on today and introduce you guys to our new community engagement manager, but she's doing the Falcon Day of Caring today, so.
Yes.
For L&M. So today there's 260 L&M staff and students out doing 29 different projects throughout their communities, Letts, Fruitland, and the surrounding areas.
Okay. So tell us, Day of Caring happens a few times a year. Right. So today is the Falcon, so Louisa Muscatine Schools. Yep. What are the other ones that typically happen throughout the year?
Well, the big one's in the fall, usually with the business community or employers can get teams together of employees to go out and do stuff. The Adult Day of Caring.
The Adult Day, yeah.
And that was the original one. That's still out there. And then we have some at 3 different school districts usually. Okay. So Muscatine, L&M, and normally we have one in Durant, but the last few years with COVID, it's just been kind of thrown all of that up in the air. So we haven't even had really a student day of caring for a little while. So
today's kind of a big deal, and you had said it was originally scheduled for tomorrow, but the weather forecasted made today a better option. So.
Right. Thunderstorms are not a good fit for volunteering outside.
Probably not. So they're out. So I love this because it's really engaging the kids, or I guess young adults in the community and showing them a way to give back as a group and how they can do things, just manual labor even, and how helpful it can be. So what are some examples of the projects happening today?
Well, usually they help with senior homes, so people that can't do their own yard work, or occasionally there will be painting projects in there, that kind of thing, just to help people stay in their homes and be safe and that kind of thing. But then they also do park cleanup in different communities. That's a common one. Area churches. This year they're going to be sprucing up the Letts Community Center and Library. So, cleaning fire trucks at Fruitland. Oh. So that's an interesting one.
That one sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if they're going to use the water from
the big hose,
the
right?
Truck. Oh, yeah, with the big hose, right? Yeah. That sounds fun. Yeah. So do they get to pick, or is the school assigning the teams to the project?
Well, actually, L&M is unique because they already had been doing a volunteer day prior to Day of Caring, prior to us kind of joining forces with them. And then they reached out to have us kind of help coordinate things a little bit for them. So they actually helped get the projects together and get the students arranged in whatever areas they want to go to.
Okay, so they help with facilitating even that project list. Yeah. So in other Day of Carings, so there's one typically held in the fall. Yep. If you have a project or you're in need of someone to come and help you out, how do you get on the list?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are connected through different agencies in town, like senior resources, that kind of thing for seniors. But we also take direct phone calls from the public at our office, which is 563-263-5963. And they can reach out to us, and if they need some help, get on the list that way too.
Perfect. Okay, so you mentioned your office, so we'll move into the next thing on your list.
Yeah.
You have a new place.
We do. We just moved in March, and so we're going to have an open house next Wednesday from 4 to 6 at our new location. which is 615 Cedar Street. It's the second floor of the Community Bank building on Cedar.
Yes. Okay, so
Stanley
I got
Lane
to go.
Hunter is in there too, and
Yes.
NPL Tax and Accounting is in the downstairs, but we're in the second floor.
And I've been into the new office
Yeah.
location. So do you have any signage or anything yet? So when you get there, if you
Yeah.
park in front of the bank,
Right.
I paused for a second because I
Yeah.
was like, how do I go in? But you just like you're going right into the bank,
Yep.
you can take the elevator
Right.
right to the second floor, and there you are.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
We're still getting the signage is in process, but you know,
I called you out on your-
it kind of takes some time to get all of that
Yes.
worked out. But
Yep.
but yeah, the signage is in process. But for now, yeah, you just go in like you're going to the bank,
Yes.
and you take the elevator to the second floor.
Perfect. And it's
you're
really
there.
nice. There are great offices.
Yeah.
The entrance is set up so that you're greeted right away, and you'll see some of those great staff. So you mentioned
Yep.
Hillary. So
Yeah.
she's new
Right.
with the
Right.
office. You've probably met her if you've been out and about, or you will very soon.
Yep.
I've met her and seen her around a few
Yeah.
different times. She's great. So if you even wanted to stop in, there is a new office manager as well, right?
Yeah, so our office coordinator, Allison Eagle, is also, they started on the same day.
Nice.
So that was exciting.
They're in it together then.
And then Aligned Impact Muscatine, which is also in our office,
Mm-hmm.
they have 2 staff members that are going to be starting full time in June. So I believe one of them may be there.
Awesome.
So
lots of new people to meet.
Yep.
So come to the open house on Wednesday.
Right.
What time is it?
4
again?
to 6.
The 27th, 4 to 6.
Yep.
Stop, see the new office, meet everyone that's working there, ask questions about United Way, because you have a lot going on.
Right.
One of the other things that you have going on right now too is the community baby shower.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit
So
about that one.
this has been going on for several years. We've been helping to organize this, and so in the month of April, people can make donations of baby items. We'll take cash and buy baby items. We get car seats, diapers, anything that you might think that a new parent might need.
Okay. And all new, right?
Yep. Yeah. Generally, we want new stuff. We do have some people that will make blankets and stuff like that, which is
Okay.
great also. But
Yeah.
then we coordinate with area programs that are helping new parents to get those supplies to these programs so that they can help
Yeah.
people that might not otherwise or might have a tougher time getting access to some of that stuff.
Perfect.
So-
Perfect. Okay, and so some of those programs that you mentioned too, United Way is a great funder in the community and helps lots of different programs. Many of those programs are ran by or utilize a lot of volunteers. So
Right.
Shane, what is this week?
It is Volunteer Appreciation Week.
Yes.
So yeah, this week especially, if you've seen our Facebook page, every day we're having a video to spotlight another volunteer from an organization in the community, and it's just a time to kind of, obviously volunteers are important all throughout the year,
Yes.
but it's a
Yeah.
time that we can kind of give a special attention to volunteers and the important role that they play in the community. I think people underestimate how important volunteers are. The 2 of us were actually at the city council meeting
Yes.
for the proclamation for Volunteer Month, I think
Yes,
it was.
April is Volunteer Month, recognized in Muscatine now.
Right. And I think, Lindsay, even you had some great statistics about how volunteers have helped your program.
Yeah.
If you want to throw some of those in.
I sure can. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, a program at the Y,
Yeah.
United Way agency. We use volunteers to do all of our direct service programming, really, and they're used as mentors, as volunteers for coordinating events. And I think sometimes we
Right.
forget about that piece too, that boards and committees and
Yeah.
the people that are looking at policy and all the work that happens in the background, those are volunteers too. So
Right.
just as important as the people that are every day doing that direct volunteer service as well. So to not be forgotten in the background, but Big Brothers Big Sisters is one of those agencies that because we do serve upwards or close to 200 kids each year, our volunteers record almost 10,000 hours each year in the community. So we're pretty
Right.
proud of that, and we're trying to, and even through COVID, I'll tell you that we kept those numbers up. People were volunteering even virtually
Yep.
or outside and making those adjustments that they needed to, and we were still logging over 9,000 hours each year. So really excited to share those numbers always.
Yeah.
I know that there are thousands of hours that go into the community as a whole, and not all of us are very good at counting them either. So while we can give a number, 18,000 or whatever it is, there are so many more hours that are unnoticed, and a lot of informal volunteering that happens that we just think we're helping a neighbor, or, but that really adds a lot of value. And what it does going back into the economy, I think we talked about too. And I don't know what the actual number is right now that they're equating volunteering with. Do you know what it is?
Oh, I should know. This is like $25. I mean, that's rough. It's give or take $25 an hour or something like that.
So in our agency, I know to equate to the volunteer hours that we put out each year, we would have to hire 5 full-time staff, which we know would be extremely costly by the time you account for all of those fringe benefits and things like that too to an agency. So that would really decrease the amount of services that we were able to provide and increase the amount of funding that we would need. So volunteers are such an efficient way, and volunteering is just good for your soul. There's a purpose, and it really fulfills that for a lot of people. So United Way and Hillary would be the way to connect you to that too. You have your website.
Yeah, so a lot of people have their own specific programs that they like to volunteer with, and that's great. You can reach out to those programs directly. But for those people that are just not sure where to go or not sure what their interest might be, you can go to volunteermuscatine.org and you can register on there, and then you can see what volunteer opportunities are out there in the community. And you can also track your volunteer hours on there too. So it's another good way for the community to kind of track volunteer hours and for people just to see what's out there. And if you do register, you will get an email occasionally with opportunities that might interest you. You can select and highlight the types of things you're interested in, and then get emails specifically for those types of opportunities.
And what was the email address again?
It's a volunteer, volunteermuscatine.org.
Volunteermuscatine.org. So websites like that, they work as well as we use them, I think, too. So the more people that go to that and utilize it, the more up to date it is, the more traffic there is, and then it becomes really valuable to those agencies, too, that are on there. So I know you can find Big Brothers Big Sisters as an opportunity on there. Rebuilding Together has a big volunteer opportunity coming up to finish off the month. Senior Resources is always looking, those are just a few examples of places that are always looking for volunteers. There are reading buddy opportunities. There's currently walking buddy opportunities, too. So really, if you have any kind of interest or specialty, maybe you're great at practicing law and you want to serve on a board and have that be your role there. So look into that site, and if you don't want to navigate online, you can really just call United Way too. They are great at helping navigate that whole world for you and very familiar with all of the organizations. So you could call anyone probably at your office. But specifically Hillary, I know, would be really excited to meet you and talk to you and help you find that. Let's see if we can have Jess maybe pull up that flyer one more time for the community baby shower too, so people know when that's happening and where to drop off those donations. And then what else? Is there anything else going on that you wanted to mention?
One last thing I will mention is that we are registered for the first time this year for Birdies for Charity, which for those who don't know, Birdies for Charity is through the, I want to say the John Deere Classic, but it's not called that anymore, right? It's Quad City Golf Classic.
Yes.
So forgive me for not knowing the exact title of that.
And Jess does have the flyer for that too, so she's going to pull that up. So.
And it's a good way, if you make donations to United Way normally anyway, we appreciate those donations, but this time of year for Birdies for Charity, if you make a donation through Birdies for Charity, we are going to get an additional at least 5% added on top of any donations made this year for that. And our bird number is 2326. So if you go on there and you find our charity, 2326, that's United Way of Muscatine, you can give directly through there, and we get an extra 5% on top of your donation. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out Birdies for Charity, Community Baby Shower. Think a volunteer. If someone's volunteering in your organization, or maybe it's a neighbor helping you out or a family member, make sure that you're recognizing that person today. And if this is the month that you're like, I really am ready to give back, there is not a better time to get started. So give United Way a call or look into those specific agencies that you're interested in and see how you can get involved. think that covers it.
Yeah, I mean, the community is a great community, but the community could not be what it is without people giving in one way or another. Whether, I mean, financially is one thing, but volunteering is a way that you can do it with at no cost.
Right.
Other than your time. So.
And nothing's more valuable than that.
Right.
Yeah. So perfect. Okay, we're going to cut to a commercial, and then we'll be back with our next guest.
Hi, I'm TJ Deere, General Manager here at Toyota of Muscatine.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm from Muscatine.
My name is Logan, and I'm from Muscatine.
Here at Toyota Muscatine, we believe in investing in our community.
And that's why all our members are local to the Muscatine area.
It's why we give generously to charities based in our city.
Because we believe that giving back means paying it forward.
That's why an investment in us is an investment in our community.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
Here at Toyota Muscatine, we're here to serve.
When you buy a vehicle at a multi-brand dealership and it isn't locally owned, it can be difficult to get information that you need.
That's why all of our trained salespeople are focused on one thing, getting you the best deal possible on a new or used Toyota.
And when you pick your favorite, we will help you with financing and maintenance.
We love helping our neighbors.
Come to Toyota Muscatine today.
Yes. All right, we're back. I was a little distracted, so you might have seen that. So we are here with Michelle, who's from the Environmental Learning Center here in town. Michelle, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I do education programs. So we go into the schools, we talk about animals and nature and the stars, and we do outdoor recreation with the kids. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah, perfect. And this is probably a busy time of year for you.
It is.
Because the weather is getting warmer too. Schools have visitors coming in, so you just have a full schedule.
Yes.
All of the time. Okay, so something recent that you're here to talk about. Tell us about the trees and what you brought.
Yeah, so normally I bring like snakes or frogs, things like that. I brought something living today. May not be quite as exciting because it doesn't move, right? Unless the wind's blowing a little bit. But we are doing a tree giveaway on Saturday.
Okay.
This Saturday at Discovery Park. And I brought a couple of trees with me as sort of examples. But this is a grant that we got from the Iowa DNR. And
you can pull it out. We can make a mess. That's okay.
we will make a mess.
We'll make a little mess. That's fine.
So this doesn't look like much, does it?
No.
It doesn't. But this is a white oak tree. So white oaks get really big and tall, and we sort of think of Iowa and oak trees. They go hand in hand. Acorns come from oak trees, so really important for wildlife as well as for people.
Might not be the one you want in your front yard. Or maybe you do.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Acorns are so small, though. You can run them over with the lawnmower.
That's
it's not
true.
like
Pick
a
'em
walnut.
Right. I know. I shouldn't say anything negative about the trees, but those acorns, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a program through the Iowa DNR that we received 400 of these little trees, and we've got several different species. So not just all oak trees. All of them benefiting humans and wildlife both.
I think I heard on the radio that they're all native trees, right?
All native.
So they should flourish and
do
well.
Yep, a little bit of TLC.
Low maintenance, yeah.
Very low maintenance, yeah.
Perfect.
The most important part of taking care of a tree is planting it properly.
Okay.
And we will actually hand out some tips to let people know just some things that are going to help it thrive and survive a little bit better. So, but this grant that we got from the Iowa DNR for the 400 trees was through their forestry program, and it's because Iowa was affected with the derecho. And then also, some of you may have heard of emerald ash borer. So it's affecting the ash trees, and Iowa is losing millions of ash trees because of the emerald ash borer. And several decades ago, ash trees were the dominant species that were planted as a shade species for your house, for your yard. So now we have all these very large trees that are coming down and nothing to replace them, because we all know that trees are wonderful, but most trees take a long time to grow. So because we were affected with the emerald ash borer and the derecho, we want to get these trees in the ground, and so the Iowa DNR has provided this wonderful grant to help us help people get the trees in the ground, because that's the most important thing. They always say, when's the best time to plant a tree? Yes. Yesterday.
Oh.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it grows so slowly most of the time. So
that makes sense.
And then your trees that grow really fast oftentimes lose a lot of branches, and so trying to pick a good combination of those is pretty cool. I also brought another one of the trees that we have.
Do you want me to
I can put.
Oh, you've got
I'll put him back, and
Okay.
then we'll talk a little bit about what to expect. I think
this is quite the root system,
isn't it? Though,
My
isn't it
goodness.
just?
It's so little, and then it's like massive.
Yeah. So that's like. This is what a big tree looks like, but except underground, your root system is massive. So this is a really cool tree. You want to smell it?
Sure. Is it? Okay.
You know what it is?
No. I am not the tree expert. What is it?
Oh, it doesn't. It's hard to smell because there's all these other smells right in here, right?
I think we're also smelling tomatoes, but it kind of smells clean. Is that a weird way to describe it?
No. Does it remind you of a season?
Maybe Christmas.
Do you have a real Christmas tree?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a white pine.
Okay.
And even a lot of people like to plant those for Christmas, or have those for Christmas trees, but white pines are very beneficial for wildlife as well, native to Iowa. And they're so cool because they're coniferous or evergreen.
Okay.
They don't lose their leaves. This is actually a leaf. Isn't that neat?
Oh.
You don't think about needles.
No, absolutely not.
It's a modified leaf when you're talking about plant structure, so really pretty cool. But yeah, so all of that root system. So people will be getting bare roots. That's what we call this sort of tree.
Okay.
Sometimes if you go to some of the other box stores, you get a potted tree in a pot. So that's a little bit different root structure.
Okay.
Sometimes those are a little bit
got all the packing
and
it's been formed. Yeah.
Yep. So these are grown at the Iowa State, the Iowa DNR nursery, and you can get all kinds of different native trees there. But we have white pines and then also jack pines.
What's the difference?
Well, we'll pull them out and look.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly what the difference is, but the really cool thing is on the forestry website, there are all of these data sheets, I guess. And one thing that we're going to do, so we have a list of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 different trees. So when people come, they're going to say, oh, I live in town and I need a tree that's probably not going to get 80 feet tall, right, if you're going to plant it in your backyard. So we're going to have a list of all of these different trees, how tall they get, how wide they get, so that you'll have a good idea of what's the best one to plant if you live in town, if you live in the country, if you live in different places. So these get really big and majestic and just beautiful and pine.
And those are beautiful all year round.
Absolutely.
All year round. So I do like that about, okay, what was not a pine, what was the name that you used?
The jack pine?
Well, what's like its science name? The coniferous?
Oh, coniferous evergreen.
Coniferous evergreen.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I like that. All right, so I also heard, though, that anyone can come and get this if you live in Muscatine, is it Fruitlands, Wilton area? They have to be planted in that geographic area.
Muscatine County.
Okay, perfect. And is there a limit?
We do have a limit, so we have 400 trees. Everybody can come and get 2 if they want.
Okay.
You don't have to get 2 if you just want 1. That's great. Come and grab them. We are going to have a limit of either one tree or one shrub. So what's the difference between a tree and a shrub? We have serviceberry and we have red buds. Red buds are those trees that are getting really little tiny pink flowers right now. They're super cool, but they only get like 20 feet tall or so, and kind of like this. So that's more of a shrub compared to a tree.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and then we also have serviceberry, which is more of a shrub. So, for example, if somebody comes, they could get a serviceberry or a redbud and one of these native hardwood oaks, hackberries, pines, things like that. Not 2 redbuds or 2 serviceberries, because we want to make sure that we give everybody the opportunity to have those trees too.
And is that per person or per household?
Per household.
Per household.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we have the white pines. We have jack pines, which we're going to find out exactly what the difference is after this show.
I should have told you my questions ahead of time, and then I didn't know what they were going to be.
That's okay. Sycamores, they're really pretty cool trees. Have you ever seen one? They get really big.
I was not the right person to host this segment of this show. We could talk about salamanders or snakes or something.
Yeah.
I know the difference between those.
When you're driving down the road and you see those big trees that sort of have like the almost look whitish bark towards the top. Around our area, those are sycamores. They get really big. They're really cool looking. So we also have a variety of oak trees because they are so good for wildlife. We have the white oak, which is what I showed you, the bur oak. We have a red oak. I'll teach you the difference between red oaks and white oaks someday. Come out to Discovery.
I absolutely
will. We'll go for a walk. A tree walk.
Yes, that would be perfect. And you guys even are really good about having them labeled and things like that too along the trail system. So I utilize the trails a lot, especially when the weather is nicer. But I obviously have not done a very good job of paying attention to what the trees are. So I'm going to do that this summer. So if we're ever on this together again, maybe we can do like a tree quiz and see if I've taught myself anything.
Tree walk.
I don't know. Yeah, something. Yeah.
So I'll tell you a little secret about myself. I've always been very interested in the animal part of biology, and only within the last like 4 years have I really gotten into trees, because you don't think trees are really that interesting, right? They don't move, but the stuff that they do is amazing. Sorry, so black cherries. Those are a native hardwood tree we have here, and they have a little fruit, so good for wildlife. Hackberries. Hackberries are really cool looking trees. They have some deep grooved bark and grow really well in sandy areas. Let's see. Oh, and the hybrid poplar, which I just know this because I just looked it up this morning. I didn't know this before. It says that it's a hybrid poplar is a cross, so that one's not native, that's a mixture. But it's a cross between black, let's see, what did it say? Black poplar and a cottonwood. Seedless mix of cottonwood and black poplar. That's a hybrid.
I didn't even know that there could be hybrid trees. I feel like that's kind of neat to know.
It says it grows very fast. So this is one of those trees, usually if they grow really fast, they don't live as long. Because they start to drop their branches and things like that. So it takes forever for oak trees to grow, but they live 150, 200, 300 years. So if you're looking for shade, quick, sounds like a good thing, but you don't want to plant it like near sidewalks or foundations or water lines, because
it's one of those that has
so if you've ever dealt with that before,
homeowners are probably like, yes, they know exactly, because there is this fear that that root system is going to take on your foundation or cause a lot of damage. So that's also good to know, and those are questions that you could probably ask when you go out, like maybe how close. So we talked and we joked a little bit about when is the best time to plant a tree, and that keeps going in my head. Like, of course it's going to take forever to grow, and so if you're looking for shade right now, you might need something more mature to put into your yard. But there is probably a good time of year to either like transplant or plant a tree, and there are probably good places too, right? Places you should and should not.
Yeah, so spring and fall are definitely the best times to plant trees, just because it's less stressful for them.
Okay.
And also you have to take in consideration your root system. So if you're planting a tree that's maybe 24 inches tall versus maybe a 6 or 8 foot long tall tree like that you would get from a box store, your root system is going to have to be much more well established. So if you're putting, so for example, I live in a very sandy place. I cannot plant 6 to 8 foot trees. I have to plant small trees so that the root system grows with the tree, because I just can't support it because my soil is so sandy. So that's something that you want to take in consideration too, is what type of soil. So like people that live in Fruitland down on the island, they're going to want to plant some things that are going to be better for sandy, draining soil and things like that. As far as where you want to plant them, there is a plant tip sheet that we'll hand out, but you want to be so far away from your house. Also take into consideration, are you planting it? Don't plant it on top of your sewer system, or things like that, because the roots do sometimes grow. But I don't want to scare anybody away to not plant trees.
Just ask all the questions that you might have, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Okay, perfect.
At the large shelter in Discovery Park, so right near the Nature Center. We'll have some volunteers, some scouts are going to be helping, and some of our staff. So we'll try to figure out a good system because it's probably going to be pretty busy. We are saying 8 until 11 right now, but I almost can guarantee that the trees are going to run out very quickly, because, I mean, it's just free trees.
And it's getting nice, and people are outside and kind of looking at those needs, and again, free trees. Plus, you mentioned we have had a few storms that have come through and really taken out some of that stuff that was maybe protecting you or giving the animals a home in the backyard. So definitely, so go out to the Learning Center. It's the large shelter right there in Discovery Park. What else is going on right now? Is there anything coming up that there's probably so much. We need a whole other segment to talk about the fun things that you have planned. Camps are probably on your radar and all kinds of stuff.
We have summer nature camps, so they're back in full force this year. So everybody's kind of taken a little bit of a, so 2020 we didn't have anything because of COVID. 21 was sort of a modified hybrid camp. Less people, we didn't go anywhere. And so 22, we are back in full force nature camps, just like we always do, packing up the kids, going to different places, exploring, getting dirty, fishing, playing with worms, the whole 9 yards. And I had a few people tell me that the reason they love our nature camps is because maybe they weren't necessarily quite as, I grew up playing with frogs and toads, and obviously, I mean, where I'm at right now in my job is
You're
makes
doing
a lot
that
of sense.
again.
But maybe they did not grow up on a farm or things like that, and so this is a way for their kids to explore some of the nature without them feeling like they don't exactly know what questions that their kids are going to ask. I don't know what the answer is to that, but here's Michelle and Dave, and they know something. And the biggest thing with our nature camps is sort of inducing that wonder, so kids are figuring things out on their own a little bit, and they're exploring and like, oh wow, let's flip over this log and see what we can find, and oh wow, it's a whole community of things, it's not just a log. So we've got all of those. We have a few openings. We actually filled up really quick on some of them, but we still do have a few openings, so you can call us and we can let you know. Also,
so registration is already open.
It's already open.
Okay, that's really good to know.
You can go to our website, and our form that's on there for Nature Camp is updated too with classes that are full.
Perfect.
So. And then we have a Nature Camp for Adults series that we're trying to sort of pilot this year. So all of those people that, again, maybe they didn't grow up nature-y, or maybe they did, and they want to meet other people that are nature-y. So we're going to do things like we are going to clean up the creek. We are going to go paddling. We're going to do some hikes in different places, and they'll be with Dave and I.
Okay.
We're going to do some citizen scientist stuff with frogs and toads. That's the one in May. So we're
Is
going to
this
go
like once a month or
Yes,
how?
it's once a month through the end of the year.
Okay.
And
This sounds like date night.
Yeah.
Just go do some adult things. You don't
Absolutely.
even have to plan what it is.
Yeah.
Michelle's got it all planned for you.
We do, yeah.
You just show up. That sounds fun.
You show up and you learn about
no
nature.
kids allowed on that one.
No kids
No
allowed.
kids
Yep,
allowed.
18. And we've never really done a no kids allowed, but we figure we do all these fun camps for the younger kids, but no, not anything really for adults. So here's our nature camp for adults.
There you
or
go.
the kids at heart, or however you want to call it.
I'm even thinking my husband would probably love something like this, but I'm more like, and I'll go and I'll do it, but I would rather just stay home. Obviously, I know nothing about trees, so my nature education is limited. So he'd probably be pretty proud of me if I did something like this.
Yeah, and
so that sounds fun.
We're going to do fire starting. And outdoor cooking. So, I mean, how many people have ever started a fire with one match? That's the challenge.
That's my kids' goal, like every year. Every time they're outside, they're always trying to start a fire, which is
we do
very
a survival with the kids.
Okay.
The middle school kids, but yeah, so that'll be fun. Lots of fun stuff. And then we are bringing back our kids fishing seminar in Derby.
Okay.
Haven't done that for a couple years. That's been going on for decades and decades and decades. So get a new batch of kids that like to fish brought up. That'll be fun. Let's see. We've already got our Halloween hike on.
Is it at Discovery this year, or will it be at Salisbury?
That's a TBD, because last year we did something in conjunction with the Y, which was absolutely amazing.
Yes, yeah.
So you and I should probably start talking.
I have it on my calendar to talk to you.
It's never too early.
So it's like on that, do this next month. But yeah, so that's crazy because we're talking about summer. It feels like spring is barely even starting, except for today is going to be very spring-like. Maybe even almost a glimpse of summer just for a day. And then, we're back because we live in Iowa, which is something, it's always a surprise when you wake up in the morning what the weather's going to be like. But so we're talking about summer things. They're already filling up. So the next thing to do is start talking about fall, which seems insane.
Yeah.
But that's
how fast it will go, though.
We'll have lots of things going on at Discovery or wherever, I'm guessing, with community block party that'll be coming up in September.
Oh my goodness, do we need to
shouldn't
talk
even
about that?
talk about those things
We
yet.
need to
I don't
talk
think
about
so.
that, too.
Because then it'll be getting cold again,
Yeah.
and we need to
live right now.
Warmth, yeah. We need to live in the moment. That's what we're going to do. So, except for summer camps, you need to get those on your
You need to
calendar
get those on your
now,
calendar.
because some are already full. So,
and Saturday will be an excellent day to plant a tree, right? It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like almost 80 degrees, I think, and windy. And then Sunday might rain again, so it's just going to water it for you, and you're going to be good to go. So start throwing down your grass seed, start throwing your trees in the ground, digging them nicely, placing them not to damage the roots. All of the things that will be on your tip sheet when you pick it up on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, and actually we may see you later because the Learning Center is hosting Big Brothers Big Sisters matches tonight.
Yep, that's me.
Match event. So that's the other cool thing. You can call out there. It's open to the public with limited hours during the day, and then they host all kinds of events for great nonprofits. And I believe kids are going to start going to there on field trips very soon too. So start asking your kids that are in school if they have any plans to go to the Discovery Center or if they've had any visitors in class, and you can just continue to learn about all the great things that you guys do.
Yes.
All right. We have one more shout out before we end this show. Tony Lokensoul, the communications director with the Muscatine Community School District, which you guys all know because he is a very experienced host on this show and brings you lots of good information every single day. Sent a comment in and reminded us that today, I believe from 2 to 6 at the administration building, is the Muscatine Community School District Job Fair. So go check it out. They are hoping that all of you will join them and start a career with the district and influencing all of the children's lives in Muscatine. So I think that's it, unless you have anything else.
I can share a lot, you know that.
All right. Well, we're going to bring Michelle back and talk about all kinds of good things. But other than that, Jess says to me every time I do this to just have fun. So I guess I'm going to pass along her word to you, and I hope that you all have fun today. Enjoy the sun. Take your lunch outside today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, guys, we've been through a lot together. We all know sometimes it gets hard, but it's okay to not feel okay. You know what helps? A good book or going for a walk. Not now, Fred. But what really helps is to talk to someone. Because to take care of each other, you gotta take care of you. If you need to talk to someone, your doctor will listen. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter.